So I think down the line with both Moria and Mihawk, and it's very funny that both their names start with M. But anyway, I think they're going to have some very interesting family lineages moving forward because they are two of the original seven warlords who have actual family names, but no family to speak of, which I find very interesting because, especially in One Piece, narratively, when you give a character a last name, that last name means something. We see this with Sanji. We see this with Luffy. We see this with Zoro, kinda, thanks to an SBS giving us a family tree. But the point is that surnames, family names matter. So far in the original Seven Warlords, we have Bartholomew Kuma. We see in Kuma's flashback that he had a father named Clap, and Clap is the one who gave Kuma his Buccaneer lineage. So that's important. We see Don Quixote Doflamingo. The Don Quixote family is a celestial dragon family of which we've seen many members of at this point. And nearly all of them, except for like Mjolnir's father, have played an important role in the narrative, which is very fascinating. They're like the most interesting celestial dragon family by far. And then, of course, too, Don Quixote Doflamingo has a brother, he had a mother, and he had a father, right? So that's all sorted out. And then you have Boa Hancock. Well, I have said in the past that I think Boa's parents are Shaki and Silver's Rayleigh, but to give a more canonical example, she has sisters. She has Boa Marigold and the very much favorited on this channel, Boa Sandersonia. So in that way, yes, the family ties are clear. But when you get to Gecko Moria and Dracula Mihawk, there doesn't seem to be any lineage that's apparent. But I think, especially if both of them end up being a part of the same organization in Cross Guild, which is very likely. I've done many videos on that. But given that being a possibility, I think we're going to find out a lot about the Gecko and Dracula families. Also, what's very interesting is that even though Perona is affiliated with both of them, which is odd now that I think about it, she does not have the surname Gecko. So even though she is Moria's adoptive daughter in a way, she does not take his surname. What's also very interesting about this is that both Moria and Mihawk are very thematically similar. Both of them are vampire inspired. Both of them live in big castles in very dark and gloomy areas. The only difference, and I believe I've said this a number of times now, is that Dracula feels like more of a classical vampire, where Moria, in a lot of ways, thanks to his abilities, is more of a literal vampire. Because if you don't have a shadow in One Piece, you get vaporized by the sun. And then if you don't have a shadow, you don't have a reflection, which we see in Thriller Bark, which that's a classic vampire trope. They don't have reflections. So I find it very interesting that both of them are associated with very vampiric qualities. And then, of course, too, vampires are known for turning into bats, and Gecko Moria can kind of do that, thanks to his shadow being able to split up into brickbats, and then he is able to swap places with his shadow. So that's a thing. And then two, vampires are often associated with being aristocrats, and both Gecko Moria and Dracula Mihawk have always looked very aristocratic. Mihawk a little more so because, of course, he enjoys drinking wine and is often lounging in his castle. And then lastly, both of them have a lot of crucifixes on them. Mihawk more than Moria, because Moria has the crucifix necklace, but then Mihawk has a crucifix necklace as well, but then he also has Yoru, which looks like a giant crucifix. So I find all these very interesting notes. I do wonder if they're going to go somewhere. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Wax It!